Okay, so you guys know Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, right? For years, they were Hollywood's golden couple, all playful jokes on social media, charming red carpet appearances, just this perfect, glamorous brand. But suddenly, that image has totally fractured. What started as some legal drama has spiraled into something much bigger, and it's all thanks to a single, cryptic statement from Ryan that set the internet on fire. Now, this whole thing kicked off with a legal battle involving Justin Baldoni. Initially, headlines were screaming that Blake had won, a clean sweep, right? But almost immediately after those celebratory articles, legal trackers and smaller investigative blogs started digging into some really unusual developments in the case record. Apparently, two of Baldoni's most significant claims were dismissed super quickly with hardly any public explanation. That just triggered intense speculation online. Was it routine legal stuff, or was something else going on behind the scenes? One of those dismissed claims was about creative control. Baldoni had alleged that Blake was basically rewriting scenes and pushing the project in directions he hadn't approved, which, in Hollywood, can be a huge deal for careers. But that allegation just vanished from the legal proceedings overnight. Then there was a second claim about alleged financial connections to the production itself. Critics hinted that Blake might have had undisclosed ties to investors, potentially creating conflicts of interest. Again, poof, dismissed without much public discussion. People were absolutely baffled. Then, things got even weirder when attention turned to the judge presiding over part of the case, Alan Lehman. Online discussions started pointing out that he allegedly had a family connection to filmmaker Noah Lemon, who had previously collaborated with Blake on a charity project. Now, for some, this immediately screamed potential conflict of interest. Others argued that judges often have professional ties, and it doesn't automatically mean wrongdoing. But regardless, it added a whole new layer of intrigue to an already messy legal saga. There were even rumors circulating that Blake's public relations team had held undisclosed meetings with the judge's office before the ruling, though those claims are still just online speculation. And that's where Ryan Reynolds steps in. The guy famous for Deadpool, known for his sharp humor, suddenly shifted his tone. Instead of jokes, he reportedly posted a message emphasizing that justice wasn't a scripted entertainment story, and that he personally wasn't involved in whatever legal strategies were being questioned. Many observers saw this as his subtle way of distancing himself, protecting his own career from the growing backlash. For Blake's critics, it felt like confirmation that their carefully constructed celebrity narrative was finally cracking. The moment Ryan spoke up, it really felt like a turning point, suggesting there were deeper issues hiding beneath years of polished publicity. The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in the middle. But one thing is clear, Ryan's message became one of the most talked about moments in this entire controversy. Ryan Reynolds' comment, "Directors don't cast judges," ignited a firestorm. While some saw it as a jab at Hollywood influence in legal matters, others found it vague. Regardless, the internet exploded with speculation. Bloggers and commentators dissected every word, treating it like a coded message. For Blake's critics, that line fractured the couple's carefully crafted image. Reynolds and Lively had always been seen as playful and supportive, but suddenly, people suggested Ryan's post hinted at deeper tensions and hidden knowledge about the legal drama with Justin Baldoni. Some claimed he was distancing himself, others that he knew more. Unconfirmed, these rumors still spread rapidly. Discussion threads overflowed with debates about Ryan's intentions. In celebrity culture, cryptic posts often fuel elaborate theories, and this was no exception. Commentators argued it suggested frustration with rumors of judicial bias or hinted at industry connections complicating fairness. Whatever the interpretation, the message transformed the conversation, shifting focus from legal filings to broader questions about influence, perception, and the intersection of Hollywood power and the justice system. The judge in the case, Alan Lehman, immediately resurfaced in discussions. Online users highlighted that his brother, filmmaker Noah Lehman, had previously collaborated with Blake on a charity project. Critics saw this connection as raising serious impartiality questions, while others countered that professional overlap in entertainment is common and doesn't automatically imply bias. Legal experts often emphasize strict standards for conflicts of interest. Still, the connection added intrigue for those convinced of behind-the-scenes machinations. Rumors about Blake's reaction to Ryan's post spread quickly. Some gossip sources claimed she was furious, accusing him of undermining her during a stressful legal battle. Others dismissed these reports as exaggerated. Without verified statements, the truth remained uncertain. However, the story fed into the dramatic narrative that Ryan had stepped out of his supportive role, signaling he wouldn't shield the situation from scrutiny. The larger effect of Ryan's post was undeniable. Media conversations shifted. Instead of asking about legal arguments, commentators questioned the entire context, wanting to know what truly happened, if industry relationships played a role, and how much the public narrative was shaped by PR. Ryan's short statement was a spark in a volatile environment. Then, Blake Lively reportedly had a meltdown. Sources claimed she was devastated by Ryan's post. Insiders alleged Blake screamed at Ryan for betraying her. Yet, how could Ryan stay silent while her carefully constructed narrative continued to fool the public? Observers say Blake's handling resembled a bad reality TV show. Ryan wasn't acting out of revenge, he was protecting his career, integrity, and family, realizing the depth of manipulation. After his Instagram post, leaks began in earnest. Emails circulated, allegedly showing Blake's PR team coordinating with Alan Lehman's office. The timing was suspicious, and the content explosive. One message, days before the ruling, revealed conversations between Blake's PR team and Noah Lehman, outlining strategies to dismiss Blake's claims without public scrutiny. Reports also surfaced claiming Blake's camp allegedly paid $1.2 million to Noah Lehman's consulting firm, a direct financial transaction tied to a favorable ruling. If verified, this crossed into legal territory, transforming the judicial outcome into what many described as a favor. The situation intensified when Diane Reynolds, a former assistant to Judge Lehman, came forward. She reportedly overheard conversations suggesting the judge was under pressure to rule in Blake's favor. Diane allegedly provided detailed evidence, including a timeline of undocumented meetings between Blake's PR team and the judge's office. No official records existed, just missing calendar entries corresponding to critical pre-ruling periods. Diane reportedly refused to be complicit and blew the whistle. Her testimony included the $1.2 million payment to Noah Lehman's consulting firm, viewed by many as direct proof of a bribe to secure a favorable legal outcome. What seemed like a messy civil dispute escalated into a potential criminal investigation, drawing immediate media attention and public scrutiny. Blake's financial and professional world crumbled. Hollywood's admiration for her picture-perfect image vanished overnight. Networks, brands, and studios ran in the opposite direction, treating her like she was radioactive. Even massive streaming platforms reportedly pulled back from upcoming projects, including her special Conversations with Courage. It was clear her reputation was beyond saving with typical PR tricks. Public perception shifted so dramatically that her carefully controlled celebrity image became a cautionary tale about overextending influence and manipulating narratives. Social media amplified the chaos, with everyone dissecting every statement, leaked document, and rumor. Ryan Reynolds' Instagram post became a huge focal point, signaling that the victim image Blake had carefully maintained was no longer credible. The combination of public exposure, financial allegations, and insider testimony turned the whole scandal into a highly visible, cautionary saga. The speed and scale of the fallout highlighted how quickly public and industry perception can change when alleged corruption collides with celebrity culture. Blake went from Hollywood darling to a figure under intense investigation almost overnight. That Netflix special? Gone, just like that. Quietly pulled from the release calendar, with no explanation, no fanfare. A clear sign her reputation had taken a serious hit. Her product lines, Betty Buzz and Betty Booze, were also scrubbed from promotional materials. Brands rarely want to be associated with someone who's suddenly become a symbol of scandal. The fallout didn't stop with Blake herself. Ryan Reynolds, once Hollywood's golden boy, found his projects affected too. Disney paused promotions for Deadpool 3, which had been in development for years, and Apple TV Plus reportedly backed out of a multi-million-dollar deal after Ryan's public testimony. Even industry insiders like Hugh Jackman reportedly raised concerns about the potential damage to Deadpool 3's reputation. Suddenly, Ryan's name was tied to controversy, and the ripple effect from Blake's alleged actions spread across everything connected to them. Hollywood has a reputation for cutting ties with anyone who becomes too much trouble, and Blake's brand had officially crossed that threshold. Studios weren't just pulling back, they were running in the opposite direction. What had once been considered a golden brand had turned into a public relations disaster. The carefully curated love story that had charmed the public now looked like a staged performance, and Blake's empire began crumbling under the weight of her own lies. The truth was out, and the woman who had cultivated a picture-perfect persona was no longer the figure the public believed her to be. Observers compared her breakdown to a soap opera, but this wasn't fiction. It was reality. Photographers even captured Blake looking visibly distressed, but insiders noted that her fear wasn't over wrongdoing. It was over the unraveling of the intricate web of PR manipulation she had spent years constructing. Her entire carefully managed image, built on deception, glossy appearances, and media control, was exposed in real time. Blake's PR team, the Fenwick Collective, scrambled to manage the crisis, but their efforts couldn't contain the situation. Once leaked connections between Blake's camp and Judge Lehman's brothers surfaced, the cracks in her public persona became massive holes. Even the Fenwick Collective recognized the severity of the fallout. They reportedly dropped her as quickly as they had defended her, signaling just how serious the situation had become. A PR firm abandoning a client is one of the clearest indicators that a celebrity's career is in real danger. Meanwhile, the leaks continued to surface, each one further dismantling Blake's carefully curated narrative. Allegations of manipulation, bribes, and secret communications with the judge's office kept emerging, making it impossible for her to control the story. The media, the public, and brands alike were now reacting to the reality of the scandal rather than the image Blake had tried so hard to project. The perfect, untouchable Hollywood star she had once been was no more, replaced by a figure caught in the crossfire of legal chaos, public scrutiny, and industry abandonment. With her PR team gone, her projects halted, and her personal brand in tatters, Blake Lively's carefully constructed empire had collapsed in a matter of